From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. We are on the last day of the year if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, and we're going to be setting aside some time today to do some end-of-year reflections, or New Year, however you want to look at it. Before we get into that, it is my birthday month. It's going to be my birthday in, I don't know, a week, less than a week. And I would love the present of you taking 3 minutes out of your day to go and fill out the end of year listener survey for the podcast. If you fill that out, you go into the running to win all of my self-led trainings, which will set you up, I reckon, for a year's worth of business development work. Included in that is my podcasting training. So how to make a podcast that actually makes profit. And a lot of you guys need that one. So please jump in and fill out that survey. And because it is my birthday season, I'm going to ask for one more little favor. If you have listened to this podcast quite a few times this year, maybe not weekly, if you have listened to it weekly and you haven't left a review, please, I'm begging you, go to the Apple app, leave me a review. Hopefully it's 5 stars. Write a little bit of information. If I have been giving you actionable business advice for a full year now, and you have not left me a review, that is very upsetting, okay? Please make sure to support the creators that are giving you so much great wisdom, actionable advice, and experience for you to grow and to expand. Please check out the listener survey, go into the running to win, and leave me a review if you haven't already. So, end of year, as it is my birthday season, I probably do have a little bit more I'm one of those people who really loves like the end of the year, the start of the year, that demarcation, setting new goals, setting new vision board, not in a hustle way or a hectic way, but just as a way to really go, okay, we've got some fresh vibes, blood, air, whatever you want to call it. We've got some time now where we can reset things and make a difference. And I actually spent my morning today doing that. I realized like my personal schedule was definitely not working. It had, when you're seeing clients and you have a different cohort of clients every quarter and they all have different times of day and days that they need to be seen, we kind of have to rejig a little bit every quarter. And during that rejigging over probably the last 6 months, things had just come like insane, wildly messy. I was also doing kind of sabotagey things of going and getting acupuncture on a Thursday when really that should be looking at business strategy, when I should be going and getting acupuncture on a Saturday, like just all these little messy things that were contributing to my overwhelm. Like personally, I would feel much better to go and get acupuncture just on a Saturday when I had no other plans and nothing else to do. And I know that might sound really silly, but when you've got a lot of things like this adding up, it can lead to a lot of overwhelm and can lead to you feeling really chaotic and anxious. And just the thing that mainly I get upset about, and I think is actually affecting you guys, if you understand it consciously or not, is when you're just not getting things finished or completed and they just keep getting pushed back, that can be really bad for your self-esteem and also dopamine, things like that. So I spent the morning after a couple of days ago, I wrote a big list of what I needed in my schedule personally and what needed to be covered in my business to feel reasonable in my business. And those included things like, well, I do need to do a Friday a month to do some more bigger picture strategic stuff. I can't have every single Friday off if I have these big business development goals, but I am going to give myself an additional rostered day off per month. I don't want to see clients at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. I want to start work at 10 a.m. I want to have a slower morning after 3 busy days with clients. I need that creativity day. I need that research day. I need a full day for making content. I don't want to be making content in and out in between clients. I need a full day for my upskilling and doing all the trainings that I've invested in, that kind of thing. And that is what I mean when I say taking time to pause and recraft a business and a situation that is actually going to support you. Now, if you're hearing me say that and you're like, wow, I would really love that schedule, it is something I do in the Gentle Business Program and the Aligned Business Intensives. If a client wants it, I will personally help them set that up for themselves. And we go through that whole process and we automate it so that it's easy to manage. And it also acts as a bit of a hack job project management tool so that you don't have to pay for project management software. But this is just one example of what I would love you to do, either right now with me, or maybe after you listen to this, or maybe setting aside some time to actually think about what more supportive structures you need in your business, and a bit bigger picture thinking, a bit longer term thinking, and start to take action in direction of those goals or new ideas. So I'm going to run through like a couple of questions, a couple of things that I think you should think about. I'm going to talk about a couple more things that I implemented as well. And this could be something that you sit down with me now and you journal, or maybe you write down the questions, maybe come to this episode later. And I'm also going to talk about a couple of tools that I have and a free tool where you can go even deeper on this kind of review. But the first two things that I wanted to bring up as a generalized end of year reflection, I've been doing something recently where I'm asking my clients at the end of our call, what's like the biggest lesson from this year or the last 6 months? And I've pulled their responses, and the two most common things are that everyone is having a reckoning with instant gratification. And what I mean by that is when people actually get into their business and start doing things properly rather than just thinking about it and overthinking, but not really putting daily action into developing, growing their business, they're realizing that things take a lot longer than they thought and then they expect, and probably then they wanted. Both creating something, building a business, building brand authority, like all of those kind of things, they do not happen after a couple of posts, and they do not happen in a couple of weeks, and they do require for you to give things the time that they need to be done properly. It's a major lesson of my own this year as well, which is funny because I feel like I'm quite simple in my yearly expectations of myself, yet still I am allowing myself to get into phases of rushing. And it's still a daily practice of mine to stop, slow down, calm down, and actually reset a little bit. I think it doesn't matter how much of a conscious and intentional person you are. I think I meditate or do hypnotherapy for over 70 minutes a day, and yet I'm still rushing. I'm still having to pull those reins back. So that's the first one that I want you to sit with and think about. Where are you applying instant gratification? Another kind of version of this is thinking that success happens in a vacuum, or expecting success to happen as soon as you start, because that's going to really affect your mood, and it's really going to affect your self-esteem and your confidence long term. The other most common one, I haven't worked out the best way to structure saying this, but that they've realized that the requirements of actually having a real business, like a big money business, means that they need to very seriously up level their professionalism. Now, a lot of you are triggered around the term professionalism. I don't know why. I'm not asking you to become like a corporate person. I'm just saying do things properly, do things professionally, don't do things illegally. 90% of people come to me as a business client, business coaching client, and there is some illegal kind of functioning going on in their business. And I have to say, that's actually like, don't be doing that. Or no, you need to go and register legally with the government, or you need to be paying tax, or whatever it is, things like that. And obviously, I can't give that advice, but I can say, maybe this is something that you need to look into. But if you're running a business that is illegal in some way, but you're wanting to make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, there's an issue there. That's not energetically sound. Yeah. Also, when people come to me and they're very frustrated that their business hasn't made much money, and I look at their Instagram profile and it literally looks like a art project from kindergarten. Like, guys, the expectation and efforts alignment is another thing that I need to point out. So these are the two main things that my clients, not in coaching with me, like in the year of business in general, have realized: reckoning with instant gratification and actually needing to up their professionalism. And to me, when I hear the word professionalism, I think taking yourself seriously and respecting yourself, respecting your business, respecting your future, respecting your vision. That's what that means to me. And I don't think those are negative terms. They actually feel really expansive and empowering, and we're standing on this. 2025 is the year in business that you get your marketing set from the foundations up. It's so important to make sure that you have really strategic foundations in your marketing before you do anything else. I work with a lot of women who've gone and invested in beautiful photography or beautiful branding or getting their website built or all of these things, but they haven't got these basic foundational non-negotiables in their marketing. When you don't have this, all of that effort and investment, time and energy will be wasted because we can't come up with really great marketing ideas if we don't know who we're specifically talking to in our business, and these other foundational pieces that are required by every single business, no matter what you do, no matter if you're product-based or service-based or who you serve. Getting these foundations right will allow you to meet and speak directly to the people who are ready to buy from you and work with you. You can start this today in the Brand Magnetism 101 training. Jump in the show notes now. So those are some thoughts from my clients, but some questions that you might like to journal on or ask yourself is: what worked this year? What didn't? And you might want to look at that like just completely and totally across the board, everything from your content to your products to your clients, all of that kind of stuff. I want you to ask yourself what you are proud of and what you're feeling right now at the end of the year. And from what you are feeling, I want you to ask yourself what you need. This is something that I've got into the habit of doing every single day as a person, not as a business owner. And I think a lot of us do like a lot of introspection and journaling and contemplation and overthinking till the sun goes down. But we really ask ourselves, what do I need and how can I fortify? How can I give myself stronger structures so that I have what I need? Now, for some of you, what you need might be to go to a doctor, might be to go to a psychiatrist. It might be to get childcare or a cleaner or to stop watching TV. What you need will look completely different according to who you are. And when I think about this, I think about safety. What do I need to feel safe? And what do I need to feel well in my business? And what do I need to keep progressing? And asking myself this question has enabled me to develop really amazing support structures and systems in my business that like are completely aligned with my astrology, completely aligned with my human design. And I've already implemented just some of them, and I'm feeling so much more energetically spacious and supported. Then I want you to actually make a serious plan with deadlines as to how you are going to implement that support that you need. Maybe it's a tough conversation with a partner, maybe it's hiring a bookkeeper, it could be totally anything. There was one this year of a beautiful client who got stressed because she felt like she had to spend heaps of time watering her garden when she was time poor anyway. So we found out that the partner actually loved doing that, and we got that all set up. Sometimes there are things that are frustrating us or holding us back that are really simple fixes that we just simply need to bring out into the daylight and acknowledge and ask for help. Some of the things like this that I have implemented as my business has grown just recently, just to open up your mind a little bit, is like from the business perspective, getting my VA to do more hours, getting an automation specialist, getting an occupational therapist to help me through the emotional or mental stuff that comes up with sometimes working with difficult people. And that has been like very, very supportive. And that's even opened me up to going and getting a lawyer, getting a new customer resource management system, getting a new project management system, and trying to streamline all the communications that I have and also get some more time back and energy back for myself so that I can have more focus and I'm not the person in the DMs or the person in every single email, and things are a little bit more supported. A silly one that you might find interesting is knowing that I need to stop calling my clients lovely. I need to stop putting kisses on the ends of things. I need to speak in a much more professional and business-like way. And that sometimes when I was doing that, like saying hello, lovely, good morning, lovely, all of that kind of stuff, it was creating a dynamic that actually led to me not feeling safe in my business. That's a story for another day. But there might be these really small little things that would make the world of difference. And I'm using that example just to let anyone know, because I do have that old people pleaser bone in me, that if next year you talk to me and I'm not giving you kisses and I'm not calling you lovely, there's nothing wrong. Okay. This is me trying to be a little bit more professional and have those professional boundaries up. From a personal standpoint, when thinking about the year in general, I really realized that things like cleaning all the time and weeding my garden. I love gardening, but I don't necessarily love tons of weeding in the hot sun, were actually like me being a bit out of integrity and like doing something that I really didn't want to do. And if I didn't have to spend a few hours weeding on Sunday, maybe I would have more energy for work on Monday and also energy for myself on the weekend. So those are other more personal support structures that I'm implementing to support myself and my business as a whole. I know they're really simple, but they can actually be very profound and open-ended questions that will help you to really look at what you can do to set yourself up next year for more success. I know we did an episode on this a couple of episodes back, and if you didn't listen to it, please go and listen to it. But I just want to take 1 second to remind you that it is so important to acknowledge how far you've come. We all do this. This is really natural. It's really human to just keep focusing on the next thing and the next thing. It's not healthy from a mental health perspective. And I am really guilty of doing this. And me sitting down and actually going, well, my word for this year was up level. And these are all of the things that I up leveled. And I think I did 3 whole stories of a list. And I was feeling a bit shit about my business, to be honest. And not because it's not doing well, I just didn't feel very good. Going, hang on, look at all of this stuff that I've done. Like, I've really embodied this intention way more than I expected or intended to. And I've invested a lot of time and money and energy, and I like 7,000% have up leveled this year. But if I hadn't paused and allowed myself the time to acknowledge that, I might have just still felt a bit crap, you know? If you are having less than great feelings about your business upon this reflection, if you are feeling a bit crap, feeling a bit shit, if you are not in the place that you wanted to be at the end of 2024, or if you're starting next year feeling like you're already on the back foot, you're already confused, you don't have a plan, I would say it is time for a change. And I hope that you can use this message right now as a sign to finally give yourself that gift of allowing yourself to change and grow and support yourself in the ways that you need to. Of course, a beautiful change would be to hire a business coach. If that's too big basket right now, some other smaller tools that I can suggest for you is to jump into a planning session with me. They're only going to be available until the end of January, and we can look at your whole year and just plan things out for you in a really gentle, spacious way. And I also do have a lot of planning tools in my shop. So I have a monthly and a yearly Notion board, and they're under 25 Australian dollars. And if you just bought the yearly and the monthly and you actually used it, that could like totally overhaul an entire business. The other free little piece of advice here is that I have an end of year review workbook, which is a totally free journaling workbook. Similar questions in there are a few more like strategy based questions, and you can grab that in the show notes right now, download it, and maybe set aside an hour over the next couple of days and actually work through that end of year review workbook specifically for your business. If you're struggling to work out what structures or maybe boundaries you need to have a better year in 2025, good luck with all this reviewing. Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the other side. If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast for review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.